class. And if you go to fractureme.com, you can find out more and enter Deadcast for 15% off your order. So
such a deal.
Next order of business. Welcome back, Doug. Do you have any photos you might put in? Do you might want to fracturize?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I do the photography things.
Yeah, you should try that, man.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, no, I was checking out the ones that you showed me, and they actually look pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, it's a, it's sort of artistic.
Yeah. Modern art kind of thing. If you remember, Doug was here back in... Last time you were here, I checked, was 2011.
Yeah. How the time flies.
Wow.
When we interviewed Sarah Wayne Callies.
Yeah.
Have we been podcasting that
10
long?
minutes. Since 2010.
Yeah.
No, we haven't.
So, yeah, I was lucky to be involved with a number of those sort of early interviews. Andrew Lincoln.
Jeffrey DeMond.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Because whenever you couldn't make it, I'd be like, help me.
Yeah.
I had meetings to go to.
Yeah, no, those were fun.
Yeah, that was cool. I was grateful for your help. Okay, well, I just want to welcome also you, Karen, to the new headquarters of Walking Dead Cast. I call it Terminus.
Terminus Studios, yeah.
It's great, actually. The acoustics are good, and we're in the prettiest part of San Francisco in a really
tiny room.
We're in a really cool neighborhood, though, and it's a beautiful house, and it's ridiculously pretty outside, which makes me
You want to
afraid
just stop
for
this and go outside?
my state.
We might have to frolic.
Have I been? It
we'll be
does
right
seem
back.
like we're going to frolic. Okay, stay right here. Now we're back from
I
frolicking.
promise we'll get started soon, but first I wanted to thank you guys for the iTunes reviews, because I asked for iTunes reviews last time. We got like 10 great ones, and I want to see if we can get to 800 before next episode. That's a challenge to you guys. Not 800 more, but we're close to 800 total. We got like 20 more to go.
You must do it now.
Have we cracked, I think it's 7,000 likes on Facebook?
We're pretty close.
We're
to
like
that,
just a few away.
Yeah.
So if you feel like it.
They're all using iTunes. Just go over there and just write something cool.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
Believe me. I've done it.
I want to read one. Yeah, you wrote like our first review when I was begging all my friends for reviews. You're like, I haven't heard it yet. I'm like, just make it up.
Did you really?
Yeah, well, I didn't say that part, but he hadn't heard it. No, I'm just kidding. So I want to read one of the reviews that you wrote. This is Ralph in Brooklyn. I don't usually read iTunes reviews, but I thought this one was interesting. It says, I love the 5 favorite moments Jason and Karen review for every episode. The GAC ratings, the kill assessments, and the personal takes on the characters. They also talk about the writing on the show. They don't compare Walking Dead to other shows, which keeps the focus. Jason and Karen have great teamwork and are fun. Jason is clever and insightful. Karen is intelligent and sweet. I don't know if she just laughs all day anyway, but is every other sentence out of Jason's mouth really that funny?
Yes.
4 stars.
Damn it.
I'm going to say probably, yeah. All right, Ralph, you rule.
I don't think every sentence is that funny, but...
Like that one right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. It's mostly pity laughing.
Yeah, so there you go, people who are complaining.
Right, so
she knows if she doesn't laugh constantly, I'll kill myself, okay?
Yeah.
He's a gun pointed at me at all times.
I say a joke, and then I cock the little thing back.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah.
You ever hear that clicking? You ever notice that? So later on in this episode, we will announce the winner of our Walker Stalker Con Chicago contest. Just found out they announced Walker Stalker Con Paris. I'm stoked. And then we'll have Comic Talk with Mr. Blog and Gracie Lou comparing this episode to the comic. But first...
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
So it's Deadcast Top 5 this week. It's the top 5 highlights for Season 4, Episode 11, Claimed, I think it was called.
It was.
So what'd you guys think in general?
I gave it a 4.68 out of 5 brains.
That's high.
It is high. I really, really liked it. Yeah, I like that. I like doing the fractions.
You couldn't make it all the way to 4.7. That was just going a little too...
No, it's always sort of an homage to Mr. Blog. I love that they have new characters who I really like, and they don't appear to be insane. They actually appear to be good people who are kind of on a mission. I mean, I don't know. Oftentimes, that changes, but so far, I really like them, and they're injecting new energy and new life into it, and I think it's really needed, and I love it. So I really like this episode.
Okay, finally we get to disagree again.
Really?
What about you?
Oh, yeah. It was actually a big change. A lot of new characters. A lot of new. So you're sort of seeing these arcs sort of starting here. You know, there are all the characters wandering the wilderness, and you know, are they going to show up together at some point? Is it going to be a terminus thing? Is something bad going to go down? There's more bad guys. They're not all good.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
There's definitely some sinister.
The house intruders. The
Yeah.
house intruders are not.
Those are some of the
good
worst
people.
guys.
Yeah.
we've
So there's
ever
definitely a
seen.
sinister element there. So yeah, it's good drama.
So you liked it. How many brains?
How
would
many
you give it?
brains?
Out of 5.
Yeah. We'll go with the 4 and something, 4.5 ish.
Okay, cool.
I have to run it through the zombie brain computer later. Come up with a better number.
I don't know. It bugged me this episode.
Did it?
First one in a long time. I
I'm
really
surprised.
dug the whole Rick part with the intruders. I was like, oh my god! But Michonne and Carl really bugged me. I'll tell you why later. And
Interesting.
the whole Abraham, Rosita, Eugene thing, I thought was okay, but there's some things about that bugged me too. And I watch it twice, and sometimes I wondered maybe it was because I was in a certain mood or something. But I watched it again, and I felt the same way. So
You're allowed to have your opinion.
I give it.
As wrong as it is.
Every time she thinks I'm wrong, she says I'm allowed to have my opinion. That's code for you're wrong. I gave it 3.2 gax.
Dun, dun, dun. Is that your lowest?
I don't think so, but I think it's my second lowest. Yeah.
Fascinating.
So why
Let's
don't
get into
we?
it.
Yeah. So Doug, you're gonna just provide commentary on our top 5.
I'll throw in some things that are in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, you guys,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, it's
I'd leave it to
basically
the
it's a
experts.
conversation. So why don't you go first?
Okay, so mine is predictably the 3 new characters: Dr. Eugene Porter, who I think of as Dr. Mullet, Sergeant Abraham Ford, and Rosita Espinosa. And I like that they have a positive purpose, that they want to go to DC to save the world. I think it's hilarious. And at first I thought, oh God, not another group that's going to be just like the governor. And I was thinking, oh
Because
God.
last week he seemed kind of like a bad guy. He was like,
Yeah.
you got a mouth on you.
What else you got? And I'm like, oh, that's not a very good way to start. But as it turns out, it they want to go out and save the world. At least that's what they say. And
He's one of those guys that just has really bad pickup lines, but he's not a bad guy once you get to know him.
so I kind of got the idea that he's basically just all talk. You know, he tries to basically just act tough because, you know, he has to because
Well,
he's a military guy.
does
But when he gets pushed, you know, he really doesn't push back that much, you know?
Yeah, he was sort of following Glenn like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey, excuse me.
Yeah.
He looked completely
yeah.
weak.
And
The governor, he is not.
And when he killed that, when he turned to the third zombie, when he was fighting them, and he was like,
Oh, sweetheart, you're all
honey,
messed up."
And then he had trouble
Yeah, he did.
killing her. I thought, oh, you know what? I was critical in season 3 of how easy the zombies were
Yeah,
to kill, and everybody
yeah.
just got right in the head,
Yeah.
and they were like butter.
Yeah.
And the way he wrestled with her and kind of got her in the wrong place,
Right.
I was like, this is more like I think most people would be with them.
Yeah.
Because they've been so easy to kill on the show up to this point, he looked like kind of incompetent, but I don't think he was incompetent. He just had a little trouble with that one, and I would actually prefer if they had a little more trouble like that more often. It would seem like the zombies were more of a threat, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like most of the cast is having trouble.
Yeah, I think
Certainly
this
Carl
season
and-
they hadn't made an effort to make the zombies feel scarier again.
Except Michonne doesn't seem to have trouble.
Oh, she tripped over her shoelaces or something when the governor showed up. Remember, she had trouble one time. Yeah.
But I was just
Usually she
thinking that the 23 zombies in
That's
one go.
right. She didn't have any trouble. It's
pretty
killing
superhero-like.
23 zombies at once.
Right. I also like the fact that the Dr. Porter or Eugene or whatever y'all call him in the comic, I think he's hilarious. His one big line was, you know, when he was asked what happened with the gun, what went on, and he said amped up state due to rapid firing weapons.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
The way he said it too, I liked his character.
Yeah.
Of the 3 of them, I thought Rosita was fine but didn't do much.
Right.
People complained that, oh, she wouldn't be dressed that way. And I'm like, why not? I mean, they all have bare skin. Daryl has no sleeves.
It's pretty hot.
And also
Yeah.
maybe, and supposedly according to Tara, she's in love with Abraham, so maybe she wants to be all, hey, I'm
look at
sexy
me.
apocalypse Barbie.
Even like, you know, they're a year and a half into it or maybe more. by now, it's like you might just sort of like, hey, I want to strut my stuff a little bit. I wouldn't doubt that people would start doing that. So I don't know. Anyways, but then Eugene I liked a lot. I think he's Aspergery even more than Milton was.
Yes.
And weird and creepy. And
I don't think he's creepy. I like him.
I think he's super creepy. And I want more characters and I think he's bad news, actually. Didn't you get a feeling like there's maybe some trouble with this guy? Or did you just think, great, a scientist who's going to save us?
It's all pretty unspecified, right?
Yeah.
Because every time they run into a new group, you don't know if they're going to be evil or not. So I think that's the big question mark right now is what are these people's true motivations? Maybe it's saving the world.
Did you sense any like, I'm not sure I can trust him, or were you like, oh, that could be?
Oh, other than that he didn't really talk much and was quiet and standoffish and you couldn't get a sense of what he was doing.
Yeah.
Right?
And
so
he
either
said,
he did that on purpose or not. Yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see how that sort of shakes out,
I mean, there's one thing that's for sure. He doesn't know how to handle a machine gun.
No, he sure doesn't.
Okay.
And then Abraham, I thought it seemed like a good character, but he's corny. He had corny lines.
Do you think so?
I wrote some down. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, I do. Okay.
He said, I'm going to have to insist that you hold the hell up. Believe it or not, the fate of the entire damn human race might depend on it. He said, I'm Sergeant Abraham Ford, and these are my companions. Mm-hmm. Who says that? He says he's been talking to the muckety mucks in Washington on the satellite phone. And then, of course, he said, son of a dick.
Which I love.
Whoever
son
said
of
that?
A dick.
Everyone's a son
he did
of a
that.
dick.
Everyone's going to say it now. Son of a dick.
I don't know. I mean, it just seemed a little too forced or comic booky or something to me. I don't know.
So
like
sort
a
of
caricature or something.
Yeah. All right. So my take on it was that he was sort of like he's trying to put on this tough act.
Okay.
And he doesn't do a very good job of it. And I think maybe some of these forced lines perhaps are indicative of that. Like he's like trying a little too hard to sound tough. And so like those lines, while are pretty lame in general, I think so, it could be just like he's definitely trying to like put on the super military guy act, like I got to speak that lingo, and he talks about his time in Iraq and things. So I don't know. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt so far. I
feel like he has a good heart.
Yeah.
Did you see that actor? Karen and I were talking about this, but in Grosse Point Blank,
didn't.
Oh, he's the same kind of character. That you're saying he's kind of puts on this front of being a bully, but then he ends up telling a poem to the main character in a really. I wrote a poem for you.
Maybe he'll do that. I don't know.
That'd be cool. Bring that back. So anyway, what else about him did you?
Well, actually, I have a mullet theory about Dr. Eugene, which is he grew it out post-apocalypse to shield his neck because that's smart, and it's also hard to cut the hair in your back. It's harder. It's easier to cut it in the front. It's hard in the back. So,
what's your thing about mullets?
Business in the front, party in the
rear.
Wow.
Okay.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
But it was funny because Doug was watching it, and I walked in right at the part where he said, "Oh, let's just go up this way. We'll find a car and we can go to DC later." And then he goes, "Trust me, I'm smarter than you." Remember said that?
Yeah.
And Doug's like, "Yeah, and I just shot up the gas tank on that truck."
Right. Exactly.
Smart in some ways.
Worst aim.
Yeah.
Smarter, but can't really hold it.
Can't really. Yeah. Okay. Well, can I go?
Yeah.
Okay. So I like I said, I like the whole Rick scene, and I like that we had some severely ruthless marauders in this episode, and I think that we've seen bad guys in Walking Dead before, but it's pretty rare where we just see these tough guys going around just killing and taking whatever they want. I mean, the governor's henchmen kind of did that, but they were more, I don't know. I get the sense these guys are kind of like raiders. They're not going back to some town, they're just wandering the countryside, killing and rampaging like Vikings or something. And Randall supposedly was with guys like that back in season 2, but we never saw them. So, I thought it was cool, and it made me wonder, like, I think in the zombie apocalypse, you would find people like that because it's survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
And so the tough guys you would have to deal with that. And I thought it was great that Rick had to deal with him when he's at a really weak point. And they came in and they're like, well, they're probably racist because they were like, there's a woman holed up in here. Is she hot? Hold your pecker. She ain't here. Found her shirt. Oh, her shirt. She could be miles away by now. I call first when she gets here. Like, they're just bad people.
Yes.
I don't know that I'd say racist from that, but yeah.
Rapist.
Oh, rapist. Yeah. They do sound very rapey.
Yeah.
Badly rapey. And they're stupid. Because why would you choke each other out over a bed? There's like a house full of beds. Don't do that.
They're kids' beds.
They're somewhat psychopathic. In
Yeah,
that
and also, after you choke him out, wouldn't you worry that he'd turn? I mean, I'm like, dead guy or potentially dead guy right there.
Yeah.
Maybe he just put him to sleep.
Kind of arguing with Gracie Lou and Mr. Blog about this because they both think that he's still alive. And they said that on Talking Dead, when they listed in the memoriam or whatever, you know, they say
They didn't include
him. So I guess he's still alive. I thought he was dead, but
yeah.
What about the ending? What about the gunshots?
Yeah.
I thought that was the
Oh, well, that could be bathroom.
Yeah,
bathroom
that's
zombie.
what-
bathroom guy.
Gracie Lou and Mr. Blog think.
Yeah. Because remember, Rick opened the door slightly and kept it ajar to sort of make sure that the zombie got access to the rest of the house.
If he did, he turned really quick. But that's what he was doing, huh? He was
People
sabotaging
turn really quick
the
these
house.
days. Yeah, he was sabotaging the house. And by the way, what kind of dummy gets choked out and doesn't reach for the gun that's right here, right? I'm putting my hand right by my rib cage. He had a gun right there, and he was getting all choked out, and he didn't even reach for it or yell. Good Lord. I thought that maybe if you're getting choked out, you can't yell. But you could at least reach for your gun. I thought that was the weakest part of the episode. And also, it was weird that he was sitting there on the john with his boots off and the toilet seat down, seemingly just like, what?
And his pants up.
What? Yeah, maybe
pants
maybe he was changing his shoes or something.
Or he didn't want to fight for that
Trimming his
bed. You know, I was
toenails?
like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Screw that. I'm
You know
going.
what?
I'll take this toilet.
will
I'll take
be-
the toilet's looking pretty good at this point.
I guess. Yeah, I don't want to be choked out. You guys, you
And
have
when
fun.
they first came in, they were yelling. One guy was yelling, "Please, no, please!" And I thought it was really cool that Rick was asleep and you could see rapid eye movement.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder what dream he's having right now. And that was a good effect.
Yeah. I
But-
thought he might be dreaming like that. I thought that, oh, maybe that's just his dream. He's just worried.
Yeah, but when I played it back, I listened. It was hard to hear what they were saying, but one guy was basically begging for his life.
Yeah.
And the other guy killed him, and as soon as he killed him, that's when Brick woke up. I was
Yeah.
like, oh fuck.
Do you see what book he was reading?
Who?
Rick. He was
Farewell to
reading-
Arms.
No, he was reading a Jack London book.
What did he write? I forgot.
Called Wild,
Oh yeah.
Etc.
etc.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yep.
My number 4 was Abraham, which I pretty much said everything I had to say about, except I think he's a little naive. Like, he keeps saying he's going to save the world, and he doesn't seem to question whether or not that's actually possible. I don't know. It seems pretty. He seems like a little kid. I'm going to save the world. And I just feel like he seems a little out of place tonally with the show right now. He seems like a character that might show up in a comedy to me, but I'm hoping he'll grow on me, and I think he probably will. I like that actor a lot, so we'll see.
You know, so one of the things I think has been sort of theme of the show is, you know, people stepping up into leadership roles. And so a lot of people who are put in this position don't do a good job of it. You know,
None
sort
of them do, yeah.
Well, some do better than others.
Yes.
I mean, Rick certainly took that on, and certainly the governor, etc. And so it seems like, you know, Abraham feels like he needs to step up into this leadership role, but really doesn't seem to be cut out for it. He doesn't seem to be like that tough, or doesn't really seem to be, you know, inspiring to leadership. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, you know, whether, you know, he continues to sort of push that role, or if he sort of, you know, he's falling into the main group now. Is he going to, you know, fall into that?
When he was talking to Glenn, like he said, we need people like you. Do you think he was just talking about, when he said we, the three of them, or if he's with a larger group?
It seemed like they were on the, like it seemed like they were just going to DC.
Yeah,
I
just
didn't get
them,
that.
huh?
Yeah,
on their own.
I didn't get that idea.
On the only road that goes through Georgia.
Yeah, there's only one road.
There really does seem to only be one road in Georgia.
Okay, number
4.
4.
Yeah. And speaking of leadership, I'm going to have to say Michonne. She's really stepped it up. And she's changed. I like how her character is getting more and more open. Especially, it was really sweet how she was this episode with Carl. He's a sad boy who needs a friend, and she really was there for him. And she told him about her son, Andre, and how she could make him laugh. And it was really sweet when Carl said that maybe Judith and Andre are together somewhere. It's really nice.
Anthony.
Andre Anthony. Mm-hmm.
He and I have the same middle name.
Aww. You and the fictional comic book character.
Dead person.
Hopefully not undead. Yeah. So I thought it was really, really sweet. And I really liked Michonne. She tried to make him laugh with the crazy cheese. And
that was very
was
inappropriate.
he was laughing inside.
To put cheese in her mouth and act like a zombie. I mean, that's not funny.
I laughed.
Yeah, but if your son or if your kid's sister had been eaten by a zombie, and then somebody was like, "Rah!" the next day.
Yeah, well, too soon, Michonne.
There's only so much zombie humor you can do.
I mean, seriously, like for us, it's funny because zombies aren't real. But if the dead arose and one of them ate your little sister, would you go up to that kid and say, "Rah"?
Well,
I was like, what?
Well, Michonne is, she's not always been the people person, and I think maybe she's trying to, figure that out herself. It was a good attempt, though. I thought it was funny.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I liked it.
If a zombie ate me and then Karen went, "Rah," would you laugh?
I'd say, you are a comedian. You're killing me here. No,
you were
don't.
gonna say that.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks.
So what's your number 3?
Wait, so I wanted
to
talk about, let's see.
Michonne?
I was just curious, like, did you think that, so you felt like all those scenes worked really well between them? Like the part where they were talking about, what was it? Carl his friend who gave him soy milk and he almost threw up and he was like, ugh, that part.
Yeah.
See, I wanted to like that, but this is the first time I've probably ever thought this, but I didn't think Chandler Riggs did a very good job in those scenes.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, and I wondered, because he was sort of repeating words, but it felt, I don't know, it just didn't seem very good. And I thought maybe he's better at being dour and serious and intense.
Well, it's a good thing there's plenty of that.
It was interesting to see him laugh for once. He hasn't in a long time, if ever. But I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. And then the whole thing about going through the rooms and let's clear each room before I tell you another thing. I was just sort of like, why? I don't know. But that didn't work for me. I was like, why don't you just have a conversation? Like, and if these rooms really need clearing and you're really afraid that zombies are in this house, why are you so relaxed? And it just felt wrong. Like, I don't know, maybe the director, I was going to go look up the director and see if that person had directed other episodes that I've liked or something.
Yeah, I don't think he has. Remember, I think I mentioned last week, I don't think Scythe Man, I think is the director of that episode. I think that was Scythe Man. And I didn't think he had directed any other episodes before.
Because I really do feel like my main problems with this episode are weird tonal things that the director would have a lot of control over. So maybe I just have a problem with the director of this episode.
It's funny, they're using a lot of directors that are sort of one-offs, and I wonder, they don't use the same group of directors again and again and again. I wonder if that's common.
I think it is in TV. I mean, they do go back to some every once in a while, like Ernest Dickerson, they'll use a lot, but I do think they like to bring fresh directors in.
A lot of it's scheduling.
Yeah.
Whether they're available that week, and it might be this guy's really hot, right now, so let's get this guy in.
They really wanted Michelle MacLaren, who was a big Breaking Bad director, and they would use her every once in a while. But I think when Breaking Bad was getting really hot, I think she would pick that show over Walking Dead. Right. I don't know for sure, but
You'll have her favorites.
Yeah, I mean, it's a time-consuming job. The directing, that's what that's why they have to keep rotating people in, and one person can't just direct them all.
Yeah.
Although I heard that that show Spaced, with Simon Pegg.
Oh yeah.
This is where Edgar Wright made that show, and that's where all those guys got their start, or at least where they hit it big. Edgar Wright wrote and directed all of those, and then he had to go into the hospital after or something.
Wow.
He needed a rest. Anyway,
so I guess my thought on this whole Michonne Carl thing, it did seem sort of authentic. I guess it was obviously, we're finding more about Michonne's backstory, and she's been probably the sort of hardest exterior, just really the toughest of that whole group, and she's reluctant to sort of give up these details because they're obviously very personally painful. So it seemed like they wanted to have this little game, just sort of it gives her an excuse,
slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, or it gives her an excuse to sort of dribble it out a bit.
Yeah,
she's not the talkative type. Let's just say.
No, and I can see that, but the way that she delivered that line, she was like, "Now, this is going to be a game, and we're gonna do one room at a time," kind of smiling instead of she didn't really look uncomfortable. I don't know. I mean, I see what you're saying, and then after she answered one or two questions, then they did just go ahead and have that conversation.
Yeah.
They sort of stopped the game, but still, yeah, maybe she just wanted to ease into it. It just didn't. The little things kept bugging me, and I'm like, man, I don't know.
What's your number 3?
Number 3 is Eugene, which we pretty much already talked about. There was one line I don't think you mentioned. Abraham said, "How in the holy hell did you possibly kill this truck?" And Eugene said, "A fully amped up state and an ignorance of rapid fire and weapons."
Yeah.
So he had a diagnosis for himself right away. But
that's the line. That's a good one.
Do you think that he knows what caused the zombie apocalypse?
I don't
Genuinely?
know. Yeah, I don't know. He thinks he knows, and
Do you think
Abraham
he thinks he knows?
Abraham thinks he knows. Yeah, it sounds like they both think that he knows.
You don't think he's lying?
I don't know. I don't know. So far, I choose to believe him, but I'm very trusting.
You would think they would.
I'd be dead in the zombie apocalypse. Let's face it.
You would think he would at least say something though, because they were at the CDC. And they might say, "Hey, we were at the CDC and we saw a guy show us a nice infographic."
And at this point, really, what's classified? I mean, come on.
And
I mean, come on. Nothing's classified. Sharing
just,
information is what it's all about.
Yeah,
but
that was a ridiculous.
They only just met, so maybe we'll find out later. I
know we will.
We will.
Yeah.
I'm going to blame the mullet.
Anyway, okay.
Okay, so my number 3 is I like looking through the houses. I maybe it's that I watch too much HGTV because I really do that, and I enjoy looking at other people's houses. But I really like it in this series. We've been sort of stagnant for a long, long time, spending a long time at one place, a low prison. But I like when they're sort of exploring their environments, and I like the exploring of the environments. I like going into the people's homes, especially because it makes you remember that there were other people and they had their stories too. And it's really sad.
Sometimes they're laying there
and sometimes they're laying there. And I was going to mention that in Relics in a Museum. And the pink room was like a room of horror. And God, and thank God for Michonne to come out and say, "Yeah, there's just a dog in there. Don't worry about it. There's nothing in there for you to see." Because that was so creepy.
What was going on with that? He gave her that painting that was all wrapped up.
Yeah.
And it was a painting of a girl, but it was vandalized and it had an X over an eye in the mouth.
It was vandalized. I mean, I think maybe here's my story that I made up in my head. It was the mom, and she had painted that, and the whole zombie apocalypse brought her down hard, and she painted over it and wrapped it up. And one day felt so hopeless and killed these kids, and then killed herself.
Okay.
She's in the rocking chair. What do I know? I could be completely wrong, but
no way. You're never wrong.
I know.
What do you think?
That seems about right. I mean, again, you have to infer from a lot of things, but it seemed like that was put in front of the door. Kind of like the dead are here kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like that. It was a very disfigured picture. It's like
it
you were
was
saying,
creepy.
Like you were saying, vandalized, but it could have just been painted. Really, like
I think she did it.
Yeah,
and then she wrapped it up.
But yeah, it's another one of those.
And then she killed her family
Yeah.
and herself.
Yeah, I mean that seems. We've seen this
knows?
sort of before.
I think we
People
were
do
supposed
these
to
weird
understand
pacts.
that, and I didn't get it. But now that you say that, I think that's probably what happened. Because I didn't understand why when Michonne looked at that painting, she just looked right over to the room and kind of knew something. I was like, what is the connection there? But I guess it makes sense.
Listeners, I'm positive that you all know the answer and that you can write to me and tell me that I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, so
Listeners.
so my take on that was I don't know if necessarily we have to understand the whole story, but
Right.
you sort of get the general.
I just
you
made
get
it up in my
You get the
head.
general picture, right?
And I could be wrong.
Definitely something bad went down.
Would have been good for us to understand, though, is how Michonne, when she sees this picture, feels like, oh, something's wrong in that room, because she understood something from that scene that I didn't.
So first it was wrapped up in front of the
Right.
door. So all the others
In front of the door.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
that's right. He
carefully
carried it
wrapped
from the
up.
door.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
okay. Then it makes
all the
more
other-
sense.
all
And
the
it
other
was all carefully wrapped up too. Anybody who vandalizes wouldn't then wrap it up in paper carefully and tape it.
because I actually did look at the other paintings on the wall, and they were like all super cutesy and puppies and happy bunnies, yeah, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And this one was like the real standout.
And it was a portrait, and it was a portrait that had been looked like it was just completely somebody who had lost all hope painted over it.
Okay.
And that's
It was
my little story in my
artistically
head.
done. I could see it as, after all of her work,
yeah.
hanging up in a museum somewhere or something. Ooh, look at that one.
Someday somebody will.
Yeah, I'm sure there's stuff like that already. I mean, I know somebody else took a poop in a can, and that was considered a piece of art. Jenny told me.
Really?
Yeah, at some exhibit. That's the art world for you. So, so where were we?
You're number 2.
It only went for
to speak.
$5 though. My number 2 is The Break-In, which we kind of already talked about, but it was my favorite thing in the episode. I liked the feet at the edge of the bed when he was laying underneath. Oh, what's going to happen? And then how when he sat on the bed, it bowed down and almost crushed him. It's like putting the pressure on him. And just hearing all the noises in the house, but staying in Rick's point of view, the bouncing ball is really unsettling, and hearing people yelling bad things. It's just like, God, this is the worst situation ever. So I just thought that it was very effectively tense, and you were scared for Rick and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Good stuff. Yeah. And it was like crazy that I'm pretty sure he killed that guy, right? And then he came back as a zombie, I guess, immediately. So I just liked it. That's all.
It was like setting a zombie trap, a zombie weapon. Yeah, I loved it. And I loved his little escape on the roof and how he got through the backyard. And he almost had to shoot that guy, but at the last second, there was chaos in the house. And then he could conveniently meet up with Michonne and Carl.
And that guy apparently is a somewhat known actor. So he might come back. Like, they might meet these people again. And I hope they do.
Right. So this crew, the break-in people. Yeah, I mean, they seem like bad guys on the order of the governor's crew, right? And are they hooked in with the Terminus people? Or are they hooked in with somebody else? It is kind of interesting that, there's these sort of marauding gangs that weren't all that far from the prison, but they never noticed the prison.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole Terminus that built up, and they never heard of that.
I know.
Well, they didn't walk the railroad tracks.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff about positioning and stuff like that, you have to just ignore, I think.
Well, I think like when they originally found the prison, it's sort of like they stumbled on it even. So it could be. It could be that you just sort of crossing paths and not quite meeting up.
It just the prison is a great example of that, because at the very end of season 2, they're camping because they got ran off the farm, and the camera pans out and you see the prison across the river or something.
Right.
Then at the beginning of season 3, you find out that for 3 or 4 months, they've been wandering around, but supposedly herds of zombies have been heading them off at various passes.
Yeah.
And then they finally find the prison after those 3 months. So
yeah. So I think it's really going to be interesting to find out what's their story.
yes.
Are they just random gangs? Are they part of some larger group? But they are bad.
Yeah, because when Randall's group came into the picture in season 2, we got to see a little of them, but not much, and they never showed up again. And I felt like I think it's kind of cool when stuff like that happens, because stuff like that happens in real life. You run into people and you never see them again. But I also was disappointed because I'm like, well, I want to find out what would happen if you go up against a group of people like that,
Right.
you know?
Right.
What kind of stories they'll make out of it. So I think this time we're going to get that, I hope.
Yeah.
Where are we?
You're number 2.
My number 2, I just finished.
Oh, okay. Then
So
my
your
number
turn.
2. I like the concurrent stories. I like the fact that I didn't think I would, but I do. It surprised me. I thought, I'm not going to like seeing all of them struggling to find each other, but I really like all the different stories. I think it's great. There's a ton of variety in this half of the season, and I really am enjoying it. So
It is interesting that they're all seeing terminus signs in various places all
Yeah.
of a sudden.
yeah, I like it.
They're going to end up there.
And I don't think
I like that too.
And I'm not sure that all of them are going to end up there either.
No, but if they don't, that probably means they're dead.
Well, maybe it means that they meet up at another time. Maybe.
Yeah.
And we certainly don't
Who knows?
know if it's like, if they show up that this place is actually any good. Like they might show
Right.
up separately and then they get killed or something.
It might be
Or-
another Woodbury. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't think this is a good place. I have a bad feeling about this place. But so Rick and Michonne and Carl, we know, are now headed there. We know, I think Tyrese and Lizzie and Mika
Carol.
and Carol are headed there, right?
Yeah.
And who's left? Daryl and Beth. I
Yeah.
don't think
They
I've
went
seen any.
They went the other direction.
They
right?
did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Sasha and
Oh, yeah. And
Bob,
Bob
and,
and-
Maggie are somewhere else. They're at
Right,
Riverbank.
near the bus.
Mm-hmm,
And Glenn and Tara and now Eugene, Abraham, and Rosita
Yeah.
are headed back to find.
But they've been on the road for
Lots of zombie
They've been
fodder.
on the road for 3 hours, so who knows where they are.
Yeah, but they're headed back. Yeah, but who knows? I mean, with this show, they could just walk around the corner and the bus
Oh,
would be
hey,
right there.
you're right there.
See?
Yeah, true. All right, what's your number 1?
I already talked about it a lot, but it was just the whole with Michonne and Carl. I like the idea of them, you know, because I've liked their friendship before, back when Michonne found that colorful cat. I loved that whole exchange with them, but this time it felt forced to me, and things seemed out of place. Like when she said, you know, you could be a spy or a cop, sort of joking that she didn't want to tell him because he might be a cop, but why would you not want to tell a cop about your kid? And it just, I don't know, it seemed dumb. And then acting like a zombie, I thought was in poor taste. So, and I didn't think Chandler Riggs did that great of a job. And I didn't get what happened with the painting, but now that you guys have talked me through that part actually feels a lot better. So anyway, that I was bored too through a lot of that.
Really?
And I'm never bored with the show. Like even when everyone else says it's slow, I'm like, no, it's measured, and you know.
Yeah.
But this time I was just like, when are we going to get to the next thing? So weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
your feelings are perfectly valid.
Even if they're wrong. Okay.
I didn't say that.
Doug is actually Karen's inner voice.
God, no, he's not. Stop it.
Notes.
Actually, my number 1.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Having said that, I like the concurrent stories. I also like it when they find each other. So I'm really looking forward to this whole Terminus place. We've talked about this, but it's kind of neat that all these groups are on their way. We just sort of mentioned that. So
Even if Terminus ends up being a nightmare,
A terminus?
hellhole, yeah, for
yeah,
several
hopefully
of
the
them.
Terminus will not be a Terminus. Yeah.
No, it will.
Well, now at this point, and you might want to cut this
I
out,
would think.
but you know what's going to happen because you read the comic.
There's no Terminus in the comics,
Oh, dude, you just spoiled it. Just kidding.
unless it's this other place that's not called Terminus. But so there could be a Terminus.
Is there a sanctuary?
No
I don't.
spoilers.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't talk about
Okay,
that.
okay.
But I really am not. There's something in the comic that may be analogous to this, but if so, they didn't get to it in the way that they're getting to this, and
So-
it wasn't called the same thing. So I don't know.
Is this still surprising you?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
great.
Totally. Surprisingly bad. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Well,
So I I like that Rick is still hurting from his severe beating from the governor because
Yeah.
that felt
Like
realistic.
that. Oh,
well,
okay.
because sometimes they just pretend that stuff never happened.
I
That's
see.
all.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy to see his pain or something.
He didn't have a long time to rest up, by the way. He only had like 3 hours before.
True.
Yeah.
And not even a good nap or anything.
No.
I think this is what they were doing. He was talking to Michonne and deciding whether they were going to stay in that house, and he said, let's just stay here for the time being. And she said, we need food. And he was saying he wanted to go, but she convinced him to stay. He seemed fairly hearty during all that. But I think as soon as they left and he pushed the couch up against the door and they were gone, he sort of sunk into himself like,
Yeah, he did.
like,
Yeah.
I don't have to keep up appearances anymore. I find it hard to believe that they would ever find any supplies in these places this far into it. I think they would all be ransacked by now. And I wish that they'd had stories like this earlier on when they're going around to the houses.
Yeah.
So do you know what the population of Atlanta is?
Nope.
Take a guess?
Atlanta, I would say 1 million?
Yeah. All right. And how many people do you think are left?
7?
Yeah, so that's a lot of houses to go through, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So that could be sort of like some part
That's
of
a
it. I
good
mean, I
point,
see what
yeah.
you're kind of saying, though, but, all right, so out of those 1 million houses, 7 people all show at the same one.
Yeah, I mean, what really is that you totally have to look past is if there was really a zombie apocalypse, especially if they were slow like this, wouldn't you be able to handle it, Like, how could they suddenly kill 99% of the population?
They were killing badasses in the prison. They just took that out, and nobody else believed him, right? Like, well, you took out the prison?
Yeah.
But, yeah, well...
yeah, all you have to do is walk up and go like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just did a stabbing motion.
Those were the sort of lame zombies, maybe.
Yeah. So, what else? I guess we already talked about everything else that I
like that
in
at the
here.
very, very beginning, the very first shot is the zombies trying to get the balloon. I'm like, zombies are so dumb.
Shiny.
That's
Tiny
awesome.
balloon. Dumb zombies trying to get the balloon.
Balloon.
Well,
I wonder how long the zombie would stay there if nothing else came along. Until it probably all the helium went out of it.
they got nowhere else to go.
Oh, look, we got the balloon.
I actually kind of like this one myself. I put this one up there just because there was a lot of good backstory. There was a lot of good sort of reveals. We got some more bad guys that look pretty badass. We've got the whole thing that the guy's going to solve the zombie apocalypse, right? Isn't that what they said? What the
They're
H
gonna
is that about?
They're going to save the world.
The series might end this season.
And supposedly they were talking to the feds. So
Right. They had,
Up until
they had
recently.
satellite phones. The satellites
Yeah.
were still working. So there was a lot of really
Yeah.
cool sort of details, and I thought we got to see how some people turned out. We got to we got definitely a lot of arcs sort of, spreading out, like making a lot of really good stories coming up. So I don't know. I found it pretty entertaining, and and then Carl wasn't the raging asshole this time. Excuse my French. So that was kind of a nice change.
yeah. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. If it was just an episode that everyone hated, I wouldn't want that. So I'm glad to be the only one that didn't care for it that much. But I liked it. Okay, 3.2. That's
Pretty good.
yeah. Still, that's a like it on what is it? Netflix. 1 stars, hated it. I think 2s didn't care for it. 3s liked it. 4s it was great, and 5s was the best thing I ever saw. Something like that. But I would be